and welcome to Courage in Crisis, conversations of faith, health, and wellness. We are pleased to bring you this program this afternoon, and we apologize at the beginning for the very late start. Today's program is about technology. In fact, it's technology, church, and me. And technology has been giving us quite a beating today as we've come actually to explain how it works and how you can best interface with the technology. I'm your host this afternoon. I am Brother Algernon Lewis, and I have with me our two senior technicians in the province, in the person of the Reverend Ezra Paris, who's superintendent of Moravian Church in Barbados, pastor of Calvary and Dunscombe congregations. Brother Paris, say good afternoon, please.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Brother Paris. And we also have the Reverend Dr. Adrian Smith, pastor of the Calvary and Grace Hill Moravian congregations, also in Barbados. Say good afternoon, please, Brother Adrian.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Hey. So now Brother Adrian is doubling as technical host as well as participant. So he is juggling some things this afternoon, which really one should not do. But anyhow, he is doing it. We hope that things will run the way they should. Now, we are talking about technology this afternoon, and normally when we begin this program, we begin by just simply asking, how are you doing? And could you just tell us how you're doing? Brother Ezra, how are you today?
Stretched out as usual, but okay. It's a normal day for me.
It's a normal.
A normal day.
Stressed out is a normal day for you. Okay. All right, Brother Adrian, how are you doing?
It's been a full day. We've had meetings all day, and we're doing some work at one of the other churches. So we had a site visit to look at some construction that needs to be done. So it's been a pretty full day, but giving God thanks.
Okay, well, that's good. Moving right along, we want to talk about technology and us. We are now in this virtual world, which has been virtual for a while, but just that we didn't have to be virtual if we didn't want to. But now we've all been forced into a virtual space. So we have Facebook, we have Zoom, we have YouTube, and we have all these other ways that people are connecting now. We want to talk, first of all, about Facebook. So, Brother Ezra, can you tell us a little bit about Facebook? How does one join the worship? You know, some people have been live streaming on Facebook. Talk to us a little bit about that. How does, my grandmother or somebody who is old, I'm pretty older, so I've been more like my mother. How would she join Facebook if she wanted to join a service that was on?
Right. So, your granny must first of all have an internet connection, I think, and that perhaps is one of the challenges that we face. At least I face here in the congregation. That there is a sector that don't really bother themselves with that sort of stuff. I have a board of elders meeting this evening by Zoom, and one of my elders, I remember when the lockdown first started, I said to her, "Well, are you able to see the services and go on YouTube?" She said, "Well, I don't even have needing a cell phone." So that's one of the challenges. So Granny would first need first of all to get her internet connection up and running. I think the situation varies across the province. Here in Barbados, we see quite a few who do have the service. I know a few people who have telephone and internet, and they don't really use the internet, but it came with the package, and so be it. They may use the telephone, the voice for the voice, and then they have the television, which is also across the internet or IPTV, and they just leave the rest there. So I think that many may have the service, and some, you know, may not want to use it or not interested in it. So the granny who wants to be a part of the church needs to crank up that internet connection, and then we need to go. I should say part of the church online. So talking about Facebook, Facebook is one of the platforms that we use to stream our services. There's Facebook and there's YouTube. Facebook is one of the more popular, if not the most popular, social networking site. And there, when you once you have, well, you have to register first of all, and once you've registered, then you're able to enjoy some of the suites. Just to show you how you can do that registration. I'm already registered, and so my browser will probably pull up my my account, but I'm going to use a browser that doesn't have it. So when you want to get in on the game, so to speak, you have to go facebook.com, and if you've not yet signed up, you're going to come to a page like this, and you're going to have to put in your name, surname, your mobile number or email address, and your password, your date of birth, whether you're male or female, and then you click to sign up. That mobile number or email address is used to, in essence, anchor your account or your profile. But it is also used to verify that you are who you are. So what happens is after you click sign up, that it will send you a code, a number on your mobile phone, or if you use the email address, it will send that code to your email address, which you then have to enter in a subsequent screen to get your account activated. So once you are registered and you are in on Facebook, then you are able to do quite a few things. So this is my account, or rather, yes, I think it's my account. I have so many that well, so many, a few of them that I have to manage. And after you're in, registered, and you can then go about creating your profile on which you can post text or photos and that sort of thing. And then you will be able as well to view the postings of the friends that you have on Facebook, those other users that have accepted you as a friend on Facebook, and then you go from there. You have to, well, it's my account, yes. Something's missing, don't know why. Oh, just slow load. So then after you have registered, you become a user, and you have your friends and what's not, then you will see on your page, your news feed is called, all of the postings of your friends, the recent postings of your friends, as well as recent postings on pages that you like or that you would have liked. There's a different distinction between profiles and pages. Profiles tend to are for individuals, personal pages, and businesses, organizations, etc., would have pages. And so you would make a friend or have a friend if it's another user or individual, but you would like someone else's page. And once you have liked their page, that is an organization or another entity. Once you've liked that page, and then the recent postings from that page would appear here on your news feed, and so you can browse through and see what your friends are saying. I was showing you my profile page, but this is the news feed that I was making reference to. And here you would see the different postings of people. Now, as it relates to worship,
you said
go ahead.
something. You said something there about liking, and I want you to talk a little about this liking bit. And I also want to understand, how do I know that Dunscombe is, I see Dunscombe is coming up there. How do I know that Dunscombe is having a service, and how can I be notified so that I will simply get the notification when the service has started?
Right. So once you have liked the page of
How do I
Dunscombe,
like the
for
page?
instance, right. So all right, maybe I should say how you find the page. And
Okay.
so you're privy to, here's Calvary, for instance. I've searched for, but you need to, in your search bar, if you've not yet liked that page, search for it. So
Okay.
I just want to do Calvary because I also want to I think this program is being streamed on Calvary, isn't it? So
It should be.
I'll take you to
Yes.
Calvary. Yeah. So Calvary. And with that, I come to their page. Well, number of hits, but there you are. Well, I choose Calvary. Am I choosing the right one? I don't know why Brother Adrian has more than one, but anyhow, but there you go. There's the answer to your question. I have already, well, at the top here, you can like, follow, that sort of thing, right there. So that's the first answer to your question.
So that
You
you like
it.
there.
Right.
Okay.
And with that, it should be somewhere on my news feed when it is that Calvary is live. But here I've gone to Calvary, and what do I see? Myself right here, and you as well, because Calvary is currently live streaming, and it's that simple. So you want to go to a particular church one Sunday, I go back, and you log into Facebook, yeah, then you search for it. In the search bar top, you're going to come to the page, and you're going to see, once they're live, you're going to see the action right there in front of you. You scroll down and you will see all the action, all the videos, that sort of thing. But right at the top would be the live service. Now, you may want to invite a friend, and then you need to well, you can click here, watch video, and that was supposed to move. My computer is slow.
All right, so we got that. How do we, now maybe you can bring in Brother Adrian a little bit here. How do we, how do you scroll back now? The service went on Sunday, or Courage in Crisis went a couple of days before. How do we scroll back?
Watch video, and
all right.
my bad. Technology. Yes, it's me.
We have a number.
I was wondering.
All right, so we got that. How do we, now maybe you can...
That was my bad. Technology does that too.
Technology.
You're technicians.
Right, but one of the challenges I have is that I am not able to always find what I'm looking for. Like, particularly on Facebook, easier on YouTube, but on Facebook, to go back and say, okay, there was a service, there was something else. How do I go back?
Well, I'll let Ezra do the demonstration, but basically, Facebook allows you to have the categorization, so you can look for videos or events, and especially if you know the day, it's just a matter of scrolling onto the day. But recently, Facebook has done a layout change that allows the videos to be on a particular section. So the tabs are still there. So you're either deciding, well, I'm looking for photos, I'm looking for videos, or I'm looking for an about information. And they usually categorize it as some people like to say, descending order from the latest to the earliest. So once you have a date or once you have a name, so you just have to look for that after you click on the video section.
Okay.
Right.
Right.
So
that
so
sounds
here,
simple enough.
So I'm still at Calvary, And on the left, you see I click on videos. And here you see what Adrian was talking about.
Yeah.
Today's a bit sluggish. I don't know why. I think maybe I'm doing too much for my one computer. So here you see all the previous editions of either Courage in Crisis or the worship services that would have been live streamed by Calvary going down the line.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm. Okay. Do we need to say anything about YouTube or you? Because I find my personal preference is YouTube because I can project that on a TV at home easier than say Facebook. You want to say anything about YouTube?
Well, most persons tend to prefer YouTube, and because YouTube comes now almost, as we say, ready built in on most smart TVs, it is a lot easier to get onto YouTube. And once you subscribe to a page, then whenever you open YouTube, that page would feature on your home page in terms of opening, and anything that is recently uploaded by any of the channels that you subscribe to in YouTube, you'll get to see what is current where that is concerned. Um, so it's a much easier design, as Brother Ezra said, for a lot of video.
And so that's why we've actually been trying to do some of the two services that we had. We wanted to get them on YouTube and Facebook so as to broaden the horizon there.
Yeah, you don't need to subscribe for YouTube, and even in terms of your tablets and your phones, very easy to go onto YouTube.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you said subscribe. Didn't you mean register? Meaning that we want people to subscribe, by the way. When you get onto YouTube, we want to subscribe, but you don't have to register or have an account on YouTube as you need to have on Facebook. I think that's what you're trying to say, Adrian, wasn't it?
Right. So you can just go to YouTube. You don't need to have an account. It's just on your TV. You just go straight.
Right.
But then when you get Calvary, we want, as Brother Ezra is saying, there is the subscription. Just to click on it, just click subscribe, and then that allows us to notify you whenever we go live, and you get to see anything that we upload as well. So it's not just live viewing, but anything that we post to YouTube, you as one of our subscribees will see it.
Okay. Now, we've had to use a lot of Zoom recently. Every month, we have a prayer meeting. And we have the first of the month is a prayer meeting. We normally have a 5:30, a 12 p.m., and a 6 or 6:30 p.m. event. And they're usually via Zoom. And nearly every session, sometimes we hold our breath just a little bit because we recognize that some persons don't realize that their camera is on, or that their their microphones are on, or those sort of things. Can you explain how Zoom works for the benefit of our viewers?
Right.
Brother Ezra, you go ahead. Or?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right. So Zoom is a video conferencing platform that has become very popular since the lockdown. Just about everybody knows about or heard about Zoom. People zooming, as they say. I heard one of our colleagues say once that a member said that she was all zoomed out. But yes, it's very convenient to use, and I think that's why it took off. There's quite a few. There's Skype, there's Google Meet, there's GoToMeetings, and some other ones that have been around for a while. But Zoom has an ease of install or ease of installation that I think added to its popularity. And it's typically then used for interactive meetings. So like Bible study or board meetings, that sort of thing. You can use Zoom. In fact, I have a board meeting this evening at 7:30 by way of Zoom. And basically, the host is the one who will have to set up the account, and you do have to pay for it on a monthly or annual basis, and then that host would invite the participants to join in. And often an invitation is just sent out by whether by email or by WhatsApp. Is another medium that we've been using. Sent out by WhatsApp, and that invitation arrives at your device with a convenient link, or rather I should say, and also with a meeting ID and password. And then it's simply a matter of clicking the invitation link, and that starts up the app for you. I will just kind of try to demonstrate that because I think my meeting for this evening is already set up, and I am going to try to get into that. I would have sent my link out by WhatsApp, and once I find that, where my Sharon Elders, not there. Once I find that link, hey.
Hey, use the search, Brother Ezra. Let's teach them right.
All right, brilliant. But there it is, and this is what I would have sent out to the elders. And right, well, at the bottom first, you will see the meeting ID and the passcode. She already said that to you. But then here is the link. I tap on it and it starts Zoom. Trust you can see that. I enter my name, and there you are. Well, I'm the only one who's there now. My computer is logged in. But I need to say something here, because this is where we find some struggles, some difficulty. Some people come onto Bible study, for instance, and they can't hear, and they're fussing and don't know why. And part of the key is that you have to answer yes to these questions, like join with audio or join with video. Some people may say, well, I don't plan to say anything, so I don't need to join with audio. But if you don't join with audio, then you can't hear either. Yeah, so I often say, well, you have to disconnect and come back in and choose yes to those questions. That is to join with audio and to join with video. After you get into the meeting, then it is that you need to mute your microphone. All right, so I join with audio. I'm not sure why it's not working.
You gotta tap it itself.
Right. Ah, right. You see what I mean? I'm hardly at this end, by the way. And there you are. We're into the meeting. I thought that I would share about etiquette in terms of these meetings, meeting etiquette. So you can come to that in a little while. But after you're in, then you are basically part of the meeting. You have the option to either just have the speaker view, or to see as it were a collage of the other people in the meeting. But the important thing to note is that is how to bring up the button bar or the toolbar, and it's simply by touching your screen, and then you have access to the buttons here. You can then see the participants who are on. You can deal with microphone and whatnot. You can raise your hand, say you want to talk, that sort of thing. You can answer yes and respond to questions or polls, that sort of thing. All right, so and again, you can hear mute or unmute your video, or turn on and off, mute or unmute your microphone, and turn on or off your video. And of course, you can leave the meeting at this point. Yeah, so in a nutshell, that is it in terms of Zoom.
We want to make sure that people understand you can turn off your video. But when the video is on, Brother Ezra, how would you know that your video is on? Can you put on your video to make sure?
Right. Here in the bottom right-hand corner, you see the little thumbnail of my video right there.
It's a little dark.
It's a little dark. If I raise it too much, then the light is going to impact blind the camera, so to speak. So I have my my, oh, come on. Yeah. Hey, phones. I can turn it a little bit. Screen brightness. And we go back to that. I don't want that. Oh, there. There you go. I guess is where some people
No, you go. That's where you speak. Go left, I think.
go left. All right. Yeah.
Right.
See, again, I'm hard on this end. So yeah, you can see it now. Little thumbnail of my video, and I can use that then to position my camera. One of the things I like to say though is that now we talk about our own video, is that people often just leave the phone or the device on the table, and it's looking up their noses. So they're doing video, and you're getting this view from below. And I like to recommend that you use a box or something to raise your device a little bit to get it more or less in line with your face. I happen to have a box nearby. This is my junk corner. You don't normally see when I'm doing Bible study. But the point is this, that you can raise your phone, and then you find some object to prop it up. I don't have one to hand, but something, or I think I have something here. Just give me a sec. This is a box with a rock. I was using for another purpose, but as simple as that, and you can prop your device up. If you can see, prop your device up a little bit out of shot, that then what is being seen, or the view, the camera view, is more friendly rather than just down below. All right, so that's it in a nutshell.
All right, wonderful. I'm hoping that persons get a better sense and would try it out and so on. Talk to us a little bit, Brother Adrian, about lighting.
From which angle you want me to talk about the lighting?
Well, so that we can see you better. We can see the person who we're talking to in the meeting, or if you want to have your video on, that we are better able to see who we are talking to.
All right, so a couple of things to take note of when you are putting your video on. Check to see where your windows are, where the light is coming from. You want the light to be looking towards you, not from behind of you. So the light is supposed to be coming to your face, and it's easy to almost do a test as you look to see. Most of the software, whether you're on your phone or your tablet, will give you a video preview. So again, as Brother Ezra said, if you're looking to join in Zoom, Zoom would ask you join with video, and just before you click join with video, you will actually see how you look on that video, and then you can make the adjustments. It's important to make sure that the phone or the tablet is almost at eye level. That's the best positioning for your device, so that you can have a face-on frontal shot. Again, just check to make sure what is in your background. Those persons who wear glasses, and I'll let Brother Ezra demonstrate. If you're wearing glasses, glasses tend to give you a glare. Also, glasses can show persons who are looking at you what may be on your computer, your tablet, or your phone. So if you don't want some of that stuff being revealed, then it's always good to just kind of angle, tilt your chin down a bit as you're looking in terms of the video. Again, some of this stuff has to do with if you're using a webcam or not. So we're getting in a little bit more technical here when we have to check some video settings, looking to see what's happening there. But if you go back, and Ezra will just do the demonstration, go back into Zoom, there's a video option, and you can click on that option to see what are your options in terms of what you're connecting with, whether the actual camera on your tablet or your tablet, your laptop or your tablet or your phone, or if you're using a webcam, or like Brother Ezra, we're going to be doing the fancy stuff and we can be putting in our cameras and stuff. I mean, that's a little bit more. But again, it's just, again, making sure the light, where is the light coming from? Making sure that the light is in front of you, not necessarily behind you. And then just trying to get a good positioning so that we can have the frontal view.
Right. It has been, you know, everybody is going through this challenge of making sure that they're up and so on. One of the challenges that we have had recently, we had the service on August 13th, and we had some challenges. Um, can you just say what goes into bringing a service like this to people? Brother Adrian, and then Brother Ezra can end off there.
All right, so I'm not sure if persons can see what's behind me. So I'm actually part in what we call our nerve center for our streaming broadcast on a Sunday morning at Calvary. It starts way before service starts, and we kind of end after service ends. So there are a number of factors that go into it. Number one is always checking to make sure that the internet is up and running. If there's no internet or stable internet, we know for sure that we're not going to get that product out there. Number two, in terms of the media ministry, we are broken down into several areas. There is the sound aspect, to make sure that the sound of persons, what persons hear in the sanctuary, and then we have to monitor the sound that you will hear as a viewer coming out on your device, whether that's your phone, that's your tablet, or that is your TV. So we kind of make sure that the sound coming out there is good as well. Then we
You
have
have two levels, meaning so there's a sound in the house,
there's a sound
and
in
there's
the house,
sound that you're
and
exporting.
the sound that I'm exporting. So the sound in the house will be set differently for the acoustics of whatever the size of the building is, number of people, type of instruments we're using in terms of drums or keyboard, organ, singers, that sort of stuff. So you can hear more than just maybe the preacher. You can hear the body of the congregation singing. So you have that sound, and then we take all of that sound and then we bring in a level into the device so that you can get that sound. So there's sound. Then we have what is called the projection of lyrics. So that as a person streaming our service, we don't just want you to be watching, we want you to actually participate with us in worship. So we make sure that the lyrics to songs or the text to the Bible lesson or the text to the litanies or whatever we want you to join with us in reading or following, then this system that I'm actually looking at you on, this is actually our projector computer. So we, because of the intricacies of what is involved, we have to split what we stream on from what we project on, from from what we do video editing on, just to not overload the computers and create crashing. So we have somebody here now who deals with projection, making sure that those people in church can see and see well the text on the screen. And then you, the viewer, you would often see sometimes in the top right-hand corner or left-hand corner, you will see the lyrics, or if we're doing a full song, it may come full screen, or you may see the Bible lesson, or you can see something what we call layers. You can see who is the person speaking, whether it is Reverend Ezra Paris, Reverend Dr. Adrian Smith, or the church choir singing, or some other reminder that may need to come up there. So we have the projection. And then we actually have, and you probably can't see it, but then we have the actual streaming, which then looks at the video that is coming to you as the viewer. And this is where now we make sure that it is not too much light, that if we have to zoom in, we want a close-up shot. If we want to make sure a number of things. We're moving from a view of the platform to a view of the congregation to a view of this and so on. So that is the system now that deals with all the different angles. So it's a production literally we're bringing to you, and we want to make you feel as part of the worshiping congregation, as if you were sitting in the church. Sometimes you will look forward to the altar. Maybe you will look to your right to see somebody. Maybe you look to your left. So to give you that holistic experience immersed in the worship, we try to bring you all the different angles, and those systems behind us tend to deal with it, along with our PTZ camera, which captures a number of aspects. And then at the back end of all of this, we then have the video editing, which if we have to give, let's say a member says, I want a copy of that service, or I want a copy of that sermon on a flash drive, on a CD, email to me. Then this is where our video editors will sit down, go through the whole service, cut out all of the bloopers and blunders and everything else, put in a nice intro, extra, and try to give you a complete package. And then after all of that, Brother Algernon, we have our review where we sit down and look at everything that went right, went wrong, and do it all over again for the following Sunday. So it's quite a lot.
It's quite involved. It's quite
Yes.
involved. Brother Ezra, you want to add anything?
Same question? Yeah,
anything you want to add? Did you leave out anything? I know.
It could be quite a bit, really. Trying to pull it all together and making sure that I'm trying best to make sure that things don't go wrong. But from week to week, you try to perfect the art. But from week to week, you can find that something else, you know, drops out or something like that. Just Sunday for our own live stream, we realized that the internet seemed to have been acting up, and so there are portions that drop out when you watch it again, and you see this, you know, a word or two drops out. That was no fault of our own. So it could be a little bit tense when you're doing this stuff, and there's quite a bit that is involved. Not so simple. But I wanted to talk about etiquette. So Brother Adrian was talking about worship, watching or viewing and producing the live stream, and speaking of you know, how people can be a part of that and to receive or take in or participate in a live stream, and that's okay. But the other thing I want to talk about was like Bible study and interactive meetings, and there it is that we need to really pay attention to our etiquette. And I'm not talking about, you know, hoity-toity and how you hold a fork, that sort of thing, but etiquette in the sense that you know, mute your microphone so that you're not introducing background noise to distract. You know, best practices that we are able then to arrive at the end or the purpose that we want to arrive at by use of this technology. And so some simple things like muting your microphone except when you want to make a contribution, because you don't necessarily want to hear the dog barking in the back, that sort of thing. And since like Zoom is voice activated, meaning that the video of the person who is speaking comes center or becomes the focus, you know. So the pastor may be doing speaking in the Bible study, and then the dog barks or the truck passes outside your house, you know, and then the video switches to you. So yeah, be mindful of that, and mute your microphone so that the sound that would have been worked on so diligently that may be received. And Brother Adrian spoke about turning on and off your video and not turning it on until you're ready. You know, so you don't necessarily want to be have your video on and you're fixing your hair or something like that. You don't want that when someone else in the house comes to you. So you need to be mindful of that, to mute your mic and turn off your video when someone in the house comes to you, because you don't want to hear someone shouting in the middle of Bible study, for instance, "You see the drink that I put in the fridge?" Or you have to, the rain begins to fall and you have to scramble to close the door or the window, you know, just turn the video off and go to that and come back, turn the video back on. A few little things like that makes it so much more easier and a better experience for those who are part of the meeting. It goes a long way, and so we can do our part as we so engage. Yeah.
I'll just add, Brother Argon, on that for those persons who may have to host the meeting, it's always good to try to get the platform up at least 10 minutes, 15 minutes before. And if you're one of those persons who think you may have difficulty, I'll encourage you to log on early. That way you could try to work through any possible challenges that you may have. So if you know that you are to participate in the meeting in a very active way, you probably want to get on early, check and make sure in terms of muting and unmuting, in terms of your video, in terms of how you look, work through all of that so that by the time the meeting starts, you feel a little bit more comfortable. Part of the thing with technology that we always say to persons is learn your device. So again, like Brother Ezra would say, take some time to figure out how wide your camera shot is. So depending on what sort of webcam you may have, or if you're using your phone or your tablet, you'll be able to determine how wide your camera goes so that you will know what area behind of you need to fix up, to tidy up. If you're using a tablet or a phone, please remember that if you drop your phone is still on video. We can see everything. So again, you hold it becomes very important when you get tired. So that's why we always say to persons, try not to hold your phone or tablet for long meetings. It is better if you get a case. So I have a case for my tablet. I put it on the case, or some of the phone cases have stands, kick stands at the back of them. You can use, or as Brother Ezra showed you, get something as simple as a box, lean it up.
With a rock. A box with a rock.
A box with a rock. Because if your hands get tired, that one moment when you drop your hand or somebody calls your name and you look around with the phone is the most embarrassing moment. And trust me, we can't do anything other than go, and I hope you could hide it, but it becomes important to just be aware. Just be aware of your circumstances. If you can find a room for your meetings, that is helpful. Or just alert the persons in the house, hey, I'm going into a meeting from X time to X. Let's try to keep the noise down. Or, go talk to daddy while I'm in the meeting, or go talk to mommy while I'm in this meeting, so you can try to get a greater sense of focus and concentration.
Yeah.
What
and
go ahead.
I wanted to add that we make these recommendations not to make people feel afraid or to be hesitant in using the technology, but that we are able to arrive at the desired outcomes for the meeting. And I like to say to people that it's not, you're not going to break it when you touch it. So touch and see what it is. If you touch the wrong button and you are logged off, or you log yourself off, you can always touch a similar button and log yourself back in. No pain. So we shouldn't be anxious. Some folk deal with technology that way. So they don't want to touch this or touch that unless they do something wrong. No, you can't do something wrong. The only thing wrong you can do is drop it or throw it in the wall. But as long as it's there in your hand and you're touching it, there's nothing that you will do that cannot be rectified in 2 tools. Yeah. So just experiment, try your best, and learn the device, learn the platform that you will be able to be so engaged and participate in the activities and the worship.
We're going to close shortly, but you would have seen a number of productions that have been done throughout the province. Other persons who are doing Facebook Live using their phones and so on and so forth. Very entry-level things and some not so entry-level. What advice do you give to persons where audio is concerned, video is concerned, where showing the congregation, showing the platform, all of those things, so that we get a good quality production? So somebody who is listening will stay tuned to the production. Brother Ezra, we start with you. Brother Adrian, we can,
I watched a video, called a how-to video recently, talking the same live streaming and what's not. I made a point that while someone would suffer through low quality video, low quality sound, poor sound, grates on the nerves, and people will switch off if the audio isn't good. They will squint at the poor quality video, but if the sound is terrible, so I see quite a few then will begin to or try to live stream with their cell phone, and it works. It provides something, but you need then to be mindful of the the output, what you broadcast, that you may be able to improve from week to week. But the agent spoke about the review process. You have to look at what you did the time before and endeavor to correct and improve for the next session. So you listen to how the audio was, if you can't do it on the fly, and you may need to, if you're using a phone, you may need to lower the volume of your sound system. You also look at another challenge is how steady the video is. The two things that get people when the camera is and the shot is going like that, get a tripod of some sort, stabilize that camera, because it is irritating when you quick sudden moves that just drives you crazy. Get the audio to the level, stabilize the camera, and even with minimal setup, you can do a lot in terms of live streaming. You can go the whole hog. That is, you get some proper cameras, the proper software, proper internet connection, and that's another story, you know. And what I want to say as well is that there are quite a few tutorials on YouTube, on the internet, in terms of live streaming. A whole heap tells you the sort of software equipment that you need, and suggest some best practices and settings that you may get a good product. And so you just need to go to YouTube, or even from Google, live streaming, worship, and you're going to get a number of hits, and just go through and watch what's there. And truth be told is that excellence requires time. So you're not going to arrive at excellence on the first go, but you have to spend time perfecting the craft, spend time setting up and getting things in order. And there's no way around it.
Brother Adrian?
Yeah, I'm just going to piggyback right there on what Brother Ezra just said in terms of setting up. Technicians here would tell you we can't be setting up the same time church starts. We have to be here before. Nothing is more distracting and irritating than a function or service supposed to start at 9:30, and technicians are walking through the door at 9:25, 9:30, and hustling to set up. So you got to make sure that you put in the effort. If you are committed to this type of ministry, you have to be willing to come in ahead of everybody else, and know within your heart sometimes you can't leave till after everybody else is left, because care of the instruments and care of your equipment, that's something that we probably didn't get to talk much about, is that whatever it is you use, whether it's your phone, a tablet, or a camera, a laptop, a desktop, you have to care those things. Take time to cover them, take time in terms of transporting them, in terms of your mics and those sort of things. Take time to take them down properly, store them properly, dry, cool places, make sure that there are no leaks, that sort of stuff. If you are a pastor, members looking to put stuff out there, you gotta ask yourself a fundamental question. Do I want persons to watch or participate? And that would then determine the type of commitment to what you want to put out there to have persons. Is it something that persons would just be viewing, or do you want them to join with you in participation? Then it requires a greater effort. But everything Brother Ezra would have said just now, I want to endorse 100%. So whether you're starting with the camera or you're going high end, it is very important to take and just be aware of your surroundings. I think one of the things sometimes that we don't do is to sometimes stop and look around, take note of your congregation or group in terms of how does it naturally flow, so that you would know what's the best place I can put the camera. It is often said, especially when you get to something like preaching or the reading of the lesson, a zooming in is better rather than a wide shot where you're seeing the entire platform. For those type of things, persons tend to like to see the up close shot where you can see the person, feel a little bit more connected and intimate with that type of zoom in. and then you can zoom back out. So again, learn your phone. If it's a phone you're using, if it is whatever, a camera, whatever it is, learn. Try to just learn some of the features, experiment, check YouTube, or call Brother Ezra. I'm saying him, not me, right? Call Brother Ezra to help you with any sort of technical advice. You can call me as well too. That's not a problem.
Yeah. Well, thank you all. Thank you both gentlemen very much. I hope people understand how difficult, or not difficult is the wrong word, but how much it's required to do this. It is possible. Recently, I heard somebody say if you're going to go online and do it well, it's going to take you between 6 and 9 months. And it's going to take you a while to get to where you need to get to. But the reality is that there's no turning back. At this stage of the game, you have to invest in the technology to reach persons. As somebody said, everybody we want to reach is online. All the new demographics, all the millennials, all those people who are movers and shakers, all of them are online. And so we've got to invest in the online platform and make sure that our content is growing, is getting better all the time. So the reviews you're talking about, Brother Adrian, and the discussions and caring and so forth, all of those things are very, very important. And to make sure that we have good content that we're putting out there. One important thing I really like about online things is that once it's online, it's on demand, it's out there. So if I couldn't make church today because I had to work, if I'm a tourism person, I have to work, or otherwise, this evening I get home, maybe I'm having dinner, I can put it on and watch. So I'm eating and watching and participating and being a part of it. So I want to send that message out, and I'm sure both of you want to send that message out. Do not be afraid of the technology. Don't run away from it. Oh, I'm not on Facebook prayer. I'm not on YouTube. Don't want no online church. Don't be afraid of the technology. I believe God created it for this time. If we were in COVID 10 years ago, can you imagine what would have happened? But now 10 years later, we have all of these platforms that allow us to be able to exist well online. We can have youth groups. We can have our board meetings. We can do a little hangout. Everybody at their home with their juice and their liming and chatting. We can do all of those things online. And all it requires is that we put the necessary platforms in place. So I want to thank you, Brother Adrian and Brother Ezra, for sharing this afternoon into the evening. We started with some technical problems, but we certainly ending without those technical problems. Brother Ezra showed us just how high tech he is, having things on the screen and showing us his phone screen and all those things. All of those things are possible, right? They're all possible, but they also require their learning curve. It takes time. Excellence requires time. Brother Ezra said that earlier. And that is very, very important. If we're going to be in this, we've got to be willing to invest the time. Can't do it Saturday night for Sunday morning or trying to sort it out Sunday morning when church is starting in an hour from now. It requires time. And we require that long runway in order to put things together for them to launch properly. So thank you, Brother Ezra. Thank you, Brother Adrian, for sharing. And ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters who have been on this journey with us from April, we've been doing Courage in Crisis. This phase of the journey basically has come to an end. And we thank you for journeying with us. All our content is still available. We did some excellent content recently with young people and also persons with teachers going back to school and persons who are going off to university and other things going all the way back. Just go back and review and listen again. They're still there to help you. It all was there to help each one of us to navigate this time of COVID-19 and understand that God has not left us. God has provided for us. It's technology, yes, but it's also stuff for mental health. It's also stuff for finance. It's also just trying to understand ourselves in the time of crisis. God is a holistic God who looks not just about our spiritual well-being, but it's about faith, it's about health, it's about wellness, about our whole mentality. And we pray that as we continue to journey through the season, that you will find God faithful in every circumstance. So those who are going back to school, it's going to be a learning curve, but in a week, 2 weeks, a month, you will begin to adjust and recognize, okay, this can work as well. And I pray God's favor upon you and God's blessing. We continue to as a church, stand in the gap and believe that the Lord will bring us through all of this. For those of you who've been with us, thank you. For all our presenters, thank you. For the people behind the scenes, particularly Brother Adrian and his team there at Calvary that have been going through this whole period. Every week they have to be here before we start and after we finish. And we thank them for being as diligent as they have. Also want to say special thanks to the VI conference because we have used their Zoom webinar portal at some stage. And we thank all their technicians and as well who have helped us. For those of you who have given us feedback, thank you very much. And may God continue to bless you. And may God shepherd us all the way through. And again, may we find him continuously and consistently faithful. Goodbye. God bless you.